And I went from thence to the middle of the earth, and saw a blessed place, in which there were trees with branches, abiding and blooming, of a dismembered tree. And there I saw a holy mountain, and underneath the mountain, to the east, there was a stream, and it flowed towards the south. And I saw towards the east another mountain higher than this, and between them a deep and narrow ravine. In it also ran a stream underneath the mountain, and to the west thereof there was another mountain, lower than the former, and of small elevation, and a ravine, deep and dry. Between them, and another deep and dry ravine was at the extremities of the three mountains. And all the ravines were deep and narrow, being formed of hard rock, and trees were not planted upon it. And I marveled at the rocks, and I marveled at the ravine. Yea, I marveled very much. Then said I, for what object is this blessed land, which is entirely filled with trees, and then a cursed valley between? Then Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said, this accursed valley is for those who are cursed forever. Here shall all the accursed be gathered together, who utter their lips against the Lord unseemly words, and his glory speak hard things. Like this generation here that blasphemes God and think he doesn't have ears to hear what they're saying. This is going to be their spot. Here shall they be gathered together, and here shall be their place of judgment. In the last days, which the days we're in, there shall be upon them the spectacle of righteous judgment, in the presence of the righteous forever. Here shall the merciful bless the Lord of glory, the eternal King. In the days of judgment over the former, they shall bless him for the mercy in accordance with which he has assigned their lot. God's not a communist. Some people have a TP in heaven. Some people have mansions. Then I blessed the Lord of glory, and set forth his glory, and lauded him gloriously. And thence I went towards the east, into the midst of the mountain range of the desert. And I saw a wilderness, and it was solitary, full of trees and plants, and water gushed forth from above, rushing like a copious watercourse which flowed towards the northwest. It caused clouds and dew to ascend on every side. And thence I went to another place in the desert, and approached to the east of the mountain range. And there I saw aromatic trees, exhaling the fragrance of frankincense and myrrh. And the trees also were similar to the almond tree. And beyond these I went far to the east, and I saw another place, a valley full of water. And therein was a tree, the color of fragrant trees, such as the mastic. And on the sides of those valleys I saw fragrant cinnamon. And beyond these proceeded to the east. Beyond these I proceeded to the east. And I saw other mountains, and amongst them were groves of trees. And there flowed forth from them nectar, which is named Salara, and the galbanum. And beyond these mountains I saw mountains to the east of the ends of the earth, whereon were aloe trees, and all the trees were full of stacte, being like almond trees. And when one burnt it, it smelled sweeter than fragrant odor. I love good scents. Years ago, I used to make my own incense products and used to burn them. I love that smell. The frankincense, myrrh, all the stuff you can name here, cinnamon, like, it's aromatherapy, it's called. And after these fragrant odors, as I looked towards the north, over the mountains I saw 7 mountains full of choice nard, and fragrant trees, and cinnamon, and pepper. And thence I went over the summits of all these mountains, far towards the east of the earth, and passed above the Erythraean Sea, and went far from it, and passed over the angel Zothiel. And I came to the garden of righteousness, and saw beyond those trees many large trees growing there, and of goodly fragrance, large, very beautiful and glorious. And the tree of wisdom, whereof they eat, and know great wisdom. That tree is like the height of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That tree is the height like the fir, and its leaves are like those of the carob tree. And its fruit is like the clusters of the vine, very beautiful. And the fragrance of the tree penetrates afar. I guess Eve could smell it. You could smell that tree. Follow your nose. And the tree was very beautiful to look on. So it was appealing. God draws lines in the sand. And he said he made the most beautiful tree in the garden, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, to tempt man to see if he would listen to his creator, God, or would he listen to the tempter, the devil, who seduced the woman to bite of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and she in turn gave it to her husband, and he bit. But God drew that line in the sand as a right, as his divine right to do so. God being God made us little g's, little gods down here. We sold out and gave the keys to Satan, and he's become the little g down here of this earth. But God, being God, draw a line and saying, you better not cross this line. Just like he did with tithes and offerings, he said that belongs to the Lord. There's another line he drew that man tramples over on a daily basis. God, being God, has the right to make claims. And you better not cross that line. Now we're reading the Book of Enoch, and you're seeing a lot from angels that cross that line, like the Watchers, the 200 Watchers, and of course you had Mr. Lucifer himself that was the initiator that crossed the line. That's all sin is. I will, self-will. You want to do what you want to do, and you go and step over the line that God has drawn in the sand and said not to cross. That's all it is. I mean, you don't have to get into no deep theological debate over it. All we like sheep, Isaiah 53:6 says, turn astray, turn the men their own way. That's sin in its essence. I will. The I power I named it, the I factor. The carob tree, and its fruit like clusters of the vine, very beautiful. And the fragrance of the tree penetrates afar. Then I said, how beautiful is the tree, and how attractive is its look. Then Raphael, the holy angel who was with me, answered me and said, this is the tree of wisdom, of which thy father of old, Adam, in years, and thy aged mother, who were before thee, have eaten. And they have learnt wisdom, and their eyes were opened, and they knew they were naked, and were driven out of the garden. God wanted you to live forever, but to be ignorant of the knowledge of good and evil. Satan wanted you to die and to have knowledge of the good and have knowledge of good and evil. Now, who was right? Then Raphael, the holy angel who was with me, I read that part. And from thence I went to the ends of the earth and saw there great beasts, and each different from another. And I saw birds also differing in appearance and beauty and voice, and the one differing from another. And to the east of those beasts I saw the ends of the earth, wherein the heaven rests, and portals of the heaven open. And I saw how the stars of heaven come forth, and I counted the portals out of which they proceed, and wrote down all their outlets of each individual star by itself, according to their number and their names. Nothing Enoch saying here that God didn't say in the book of Job when he touched down after Job's temptation that God allowed. The devil brought up on him. After he touched down, this is saying the same thing. He said, I'm the one that hung these stars in the heavens like a curtain and named them all. God got a name for all the stars. That's how great our God is. You look up in them heavens, you got a myriad of stars, galaxies. God named them. God know them all. Named them all. Hung them like a curtain. Told Job that. This is saying the same thing. They all got paths. They got what's called the precession of the equinoxes. Everything is got a clock, a divine clock set on for its course. It's elliptical orbits. That's what he's saying here. God did this. And to the east of those beasts I saw the ends of the earth whereon the heaven rests, and the portals of heaven open. Portals, gateways. And I saw how the stars of heaven come forth, and I counted the portals out of which they proceed, and wrote down all their outlets of each individual star by itself, according to the number of their names, and their courses, and their positions, and their times, and their months, as Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, showed me. He showed all things to me and wrote them down for me. Also their names he wrote for me, and their laws and their companies. And from thence I went forward to the north, to the ends of the earth, and there I saw great and glorious device at the ends of the whole earth. And here I saw 3 portals of heaven open into heaven. Through each of them proceed north winds. When they blow, there is cold, hail, frost, snow, dew, and rain. Book of Job says the same thing. And out of the portals, they blow for good. But when they blow through the other 2 portals, it is for violence and affliction of the earth. God's pissed off. So he opens up these other 2 portals to wreak havoc on man to remind him he's the boss. That's all. And affliction on the earth, and they blow with violence. And from thence I went toward the east, to the ends of the earth, and saw there 3 portals of the heaven open, as I have seen in the east, and the same number of portals, and the same number of outlets. Now this corroborates also with Revelations, where God is smashing his fist into the earth during the Great Tribulation to get man straight, who the boss is. And it talks about the 4 angels of heaven holding back these portals, holding back these winds. And from thence I went to the south, to the ends of the earth, and saw there 3 open portals of heaven. And thence there came dew, rain, and wind. And from thence I went to the 3 eastern portals of heaven, and small portals above them. Through each of these small portals pass the stars of heaven, and run their course to the west on the path which is shown them. And as often as I saw, I blessed always the Lord of glory, and continue to bless the Lord of glory, who has wrought great and glorious wonders, to show the greatness of his work to the angels and to the spirits of men. Paul said the same thing in Romans 2, I believe. 1 and 2. I know it's one probably, or 2. chapter 1 of John. But it says God did this. Man is without excuse because he can look up at these heavens and see that there's a creator that put those stars and everything on course. As I said a million times, not no random alley-oop bonehead evolutionist theory of out of chaos comes order. No such thing in the universe. Everything has an origin in the beginning except God. And he's beyond our finite minds to figure out why. That's why he's infinite and we're finite. That's why we're fallible and he's infallible. I continue to bless the Lord of glory, who has wrought great and glorious wonders to show the greatness of his work to the angels and to the spirits of men, that they might praise his work and his creation. We're created to worship God, not the other way around. Man has made God a bellhop, a genie in a bottle, a caterer, a butler, an amorphous mass of a Santa Claus, a genie in a bottle for his big fat ego and his needs. It's not what God is for. He is the creator. We are the creature. We are created to worship and serve him, not the other way around. That they might see the work of his might and praise the great work of his hands and bless him forever. The parables. The second vision which I saw, the vision of wisdom, which Enoch, the son of Jared, the son of Mahail, the son of Canaan, the son of Enos, the son of Seth, the son of Adam saw. And this is the beginning of the words of wisdom, which I lifted up my voice to speak and say to those who dwell on earth, hear ye men of old time, and see, ye that come after, the words of the Holy One, which I will speak before the Lord of spirits. It were better to declare them only to the men of old time, but even from those that come after, we will not withhold the beginning of wisdom. Till the present day, such wisdom has never been given by the Lord of spirits, as I have received according to my insight. That is true. Enoch saw more than any of the prophets in the Bible. That's what's amazing, he's not in the Bible. God let him see it all. There was no secrets withheld from him. From the foundations of the world, he knew that. Matter of fact, touching on that, a little sidebar, there was a tribe in Africa called the Dogon tribe. And they had mapped out all the elliptical orbits of stars. They had in their quote-unquote sacred books or holy books, had mapped out all the elliptical orbits of the stars before modern astronomy. Sirius A, Sirius B, Sirius C, Sirius A, the dog star. They had all these courses mapped out. They said this is their quote now, an old, white-haired, white-bearded, white man with flaming blue eyes gave them their knowledge. That's according to them. That's in their sacred books. And scientists were baffled. How did these heathen, how did these pagans did they just discovered Sirius C not too long ago? The star is so small, it's called a dwarf, that it couldn't hardly be detected by modern optical instruments. But they already had the star name and its elliptic course mapped and its gravitational pull and everything. Who gave him this advanced knowledge? These so-called quote-unquote savages. And you can also look at the Aborigines, same thing. Now, hear ye men of old time and see, ye that come after the words of the Holy One, which I will speak before the Lord of spirits. It were better to declare them to the men of old time, but even from those that come after, we will not withhold the beginning of wisdom. Till the present day, such wisdom has never been given by the Lord of spirits as I have received according to my insight, according to the good pleasure of the Lord of spirits, by whom the lot of eternal life has been given to me. Now 3 parables were imparted to me, and I lifted up my voice and recounted them to those that dwell on the earth. The coming judgment of the wicked. The first parable. When the congregation of the righteous shall appear, and sinners shall be judged for their sins, and shall be driven from the face of the earth. Well, you had that in Revelations being mentioned. And when the righteous one shall appear before the eyes of the righteous, whose elect works hang upon the Lord of spirits. What he's referring to is what you did to fight for the kingdom here in the flesh. What you did. An active role. Not a lawn chair, hammock, a pina colada in your hand. On the battlefield role. No. What you did to get your 2 cents in for the Lord of spirits. He's talking about for the kingdom of heaven. An active role. That's what faith is action. And light shall appear to the righteous and the elect who dwell on the earth. Where then will be the dwelling of the sinners? And where the resting place of those who have denied the Lord of spirits? It had been good for them that they had not been born. It's better for you that reject Christ and turn your back on His word and the true men of God that's delivering His word. Better for you not been born. Jesus said that to Judas. Better you not been born than to betray me, the Son of Man. Better you not been born. God got a few extra coals in hell for you. To reject His offer of salvation. There's going to be extra coals for you. When the secrets of the righteous shall be revealed, and sinners judged, and the godless driven from the presence of the righteous and the elect. From that time, those that possess the earth shall no longer be powerful and exalted. Hear that? All ye gangsters of the earth. All ye dark powers. Marionettes, puppets behind the scene. Controlling the puppets behind the scene. Hear that? When the secrets of the righteous shall be revealed, and sinners be judged, and the godless driven from the presence of the righteous and elect. From that time, those that possess the earth shall no longer be powerful and exalted. You're going to be the throne. And they shall not be able to behold the face of the holy. We're going to shine like the sun. Darkness won't be able to look into your face. Look up on you, period. These dark spirits, I should say. For the Lord of spirits has caused His light to appear on the face of the holy righteous and elect. Then shall the kings and the mighty perish, and be given into the hands of the righteous and the holy. And thenceforward none shall seek for themselves mercy from the Lord of spirits, for their life is at an end. It's too late. Once the gates of hell close on you, you eternally doomed and your fate sealed. There's no getting out. And I said it a million times. God will stick you on his rotisserie, light the fire, and forget about you. You're ever roasting in hell. Now's the time to get it right while you can. Now's the time to accept his salvation while you can. While you're still breathing. And it shall come to pass in those days that the elect and the holy children will descend from the high mountain, from the high heaven, and their seed will become one with the children of men. I'm going to read that again. And it shall come to pass in those days that the elect and the holy children will descend from the high heaven, and their seed will become one with the children of men. And in those days Enoch received books of the zeal of wrath and the books of disquiet and expulsion. In the end of Revelations, it talks about time will cease to be no more, and heaven and earth will become one. And mercy shall not be accorded to them, saith the Lord of spirits. And in those days a whirlwind carried me off from the earth. Nothing new. It happened with Elijah. Whirlwind of fire and a chariot of fire with horses flaming. And the whirlwind carried him off. These are the only two people that didn't die, matter of fact, in the Bible of natural, like ordinary deaths like men, was Enoch and Elijah. As you're going to find out later, Enoch didn't die. He walked up a mount with God hand in hand and was translated. Elijah was caught up in a whirlwind of fire and chariots and horses of fire, and he was threw his mantle to Elisha, and he was not seen no more. Two men in the whole world is recorded. Everybody else has died and seen death except these two. And set me down a whirlwind carried me off from earth and set me down at the end of heaven. And there I saw another vision, the dwelling places of the holy, and the righteous places of the righteous. And mine eyes saw the dwelling with his righteous angels, and their resting places with the holy. And they petitioned and interceded and prayed for the children of men. There's angels praying for us. There's Christ making intercession for us to God the Father. You have a lot of work on the behalf of heaven for us down there. Prayers is important to God. But that's not to be substituted for action for you, those that like to remain like an ostrich with his head in the sand, just praying 24/7. Prayer is good in its place. But in God's book, his men and women of God also took action in the natural. They have an old saying, don't be so heavenly bound that you become no more earthly good. And there I saw another vision, the dwelling places of the holy, and the resting places of the righteous. Here mine eyes saw the dwelling with his righteous angels, and their resting places with the holy. And they petitioned and interceded and prayed for the children of men. And righteousness flowed before them as water, and mercy like the dew of the earth. Thus it is amongst them forever and ever. And in that place mine eyes saw the elect one of righteousness and of faith. And I saw his dwelling place under the wings of the Lord of spirits, Christ Jesus. And righteousness shall prevail in his days. And the righteous and elect shall be without number before him forever and ever. And all the righteous and elect before him shall be strong as fiery lights, and their mouth shall be full of blessing. And their lips shall extol the name of the Lord of spirits. And righteousness before him shall never fail, and uprightness shall never fail before him. Then I wish to dwell, and my spirit longed for that dwelling place. And there heretofore have been my portion, for so hath it been established concerning me before the Lord of spirits. And in those days I praise and extol the name of the Lord of spirits with blessing and praises, because he hath destined me for blessing and glory according to the good pleasure of the Lord of spirits. 2. For a long time my eyes regarded that place, and I blessed him and praised him, saying, Blessed is he, and may he be blessed from the beginning and forevermore. And before him there is no ceasing. He knows before the world was created what is forever, and what will be from generation to generation. Paul says that again in Hebrews. Those who sleep not, bless they. Also, those who sleep not, bless thee. They stand before the glory and bless and praise and extol, saying, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of spirits. He filleth the earth with the spirits. And here my eyes saw those who sleep not. They stand before him and bless, and say, Blessed be thou, and blessed be the name of the Lord forever and ever. And my face was changed, for I no longer could behold. And after that I saw thousands and thousands and 10,000s times 10,000. I saw a multitude. I saw a multitude before the Lord of spirits. Nothing that Revelations is saying. What John the Revelator described. Millions upon millions of people standing before the throne of God praising him. And I saw a multitude before the Lord of spirits,